It's words I hear Dennis saying all the time. And he talks about right thinking, right action, and right result. So that whatever outcome we're hoping for, whatever the best outcome of whatever situation that we're hoping for, we need to have the correct mindset for that. Yeah. So we can't expect to put in like a little bit of effort and get a huge result. That doesn't work outside Silicon Valley. Yeah. The effort that we put in our mindset, in how we approach things, and then the actions that we take according to that, that determines our result. And it means that we're missing that space where we actually deal with it. Yeah? And in a way, yeah, this is a healthier approach. So insofar as whatever is being made available to me in this moment, even if it's really distressing, even if it's really frightening, upsetting, all of that, if I'm letting myself address as much of that as possible in that moment when it's happening, it doesn't have to find somewhere to live in your body until you get a chance to heal it more fully. It means you can just allow that process, whatever it needs, and then it's released. The cycle of it is complete. You know, if we deny what we're feeling about something, you know, if we put our head in the sand, the feelings are all happening on a body level. We've just maybe blocked it out, or we're distracting from it. That has to find somewhere to go. That has to live in our body in some way. And then we can spend months and years afterwards in therapy and healing and meditation and yoga and all of this kind of stuff to try and move that energy afterwards, try and give ourselves access to it. Yeah. So it's actually really healthy for us if we're able to trust what's happening, trust our ability to handle that, and do as much of that as we can. It's completely doing our best in that moment. And at the same time, you know, when we find our limit, there's only so many hours in the day, or there's only so much we can do. When we find our limit, being okay with that also. Not beating ourselves up for that. So we deal with what's going on, but we don't create any more for ourselves to deal with also. That's a really good way to deal with karmic stuff. We find our just softly approach within ourselves. Our softly kind of approach with just whatever is happening. We find our way to, okay, so this is what's happening, I can't change that. Try and get as quickly to acceptance as we can. And then find our way to, okay, what can I do? What's within my power to do in myself or in this situation? And you may be finding out that actually there's not a whole lot I can do. It involves somebody else, or it involves whatever. I actually can't do anything right now. But we can also find peace with that as well. It's trusting that, okay, whenever this changes and I find I can do something else, then I'll do something else. But we keep it in that sort of active kind of place. As soon as something changes and I might be able to do something, then I'll do that. So we can spend quite a bit of time, in a way, waiting for something to be ready that we address it. And we're all familiar with that feeling of, you know, you might be in therapy or healing or even meditation class or whatever, and stuff starts moving. You start remembering stuff or start feeling stuff from, could be, you know, years ago in ourselves. Because we finally have access to it. We've given it that space by talking about it, or just being still enough that it's allowed to come to the surface. We're allowed to feel it. And then we get access to it. It can take a considerable amount of time sometimes, depending on how deeply we've buried something, or how long we've had it in there, or maybe sometimes, you know, how frightened we are of healing something. You know, if it was something big that happened when we were younger and we were really overwhelmed by it, we might carry a huge amount of fear in us, first of all, that we need to heal before we get access to that. And that can appropriately take a long time. It's not a failure if stuff isn't ready. And that was another part of learning trust for me. Because I'm really impatient. I like to do everything at high speed, get it done, bang, boom, move on. Love being able to do things that way. I love when my life aligns up like that and I can just, boom, get it done. Yeah, like I was going to change my car before Christmas, and then I find out it's Mercury retrograde, which is the worst time to change your car. So I was like, oh, God damn it, I have to wait till January. Yeah. So now it's just sit on that, Emer. Yeah, just wait until January and get over yourself, live with it. Yeah. Whereas I was already planning my week to just have it done by Saturday. Yeah. Move on. Yeah, just get it done. Move on. So that trusting in the right timing of things to be ready. Sometimes the whole process has to work its way through, especially if our healing involves other people. Yeah. When we're doing healing of our ancestors and our lineage, it takes ages because our ancestors might not be ready. They're having to do whatever they're having to do, or our family members, our parents, or whoever it is. They're going through their healing cycles also, so it all has to kind of nicely line up. We can't just bulldoze through with healing. And I really tried that. I really tried to do everything high speed. Get it all done, move on with life. This was when I was still living in the stage of just get everything fixed and life will be great. I was in a mad hurry to just get everything fixed. So learning to trust was on so many levels. Learning to trust timing. Learning to trust divine timing. Learning to trust that everything that was happening was for a particular reason. And it may not have been anything to do with me. It might have been to do with somebody else in my life, that timing was a factor. And then learning to trust that whatever was happening, in some way, I was ready for that now. And any point before then, it just wasn't ready. I couldn't make it ready. So trusting that what had become ready, I now had maybe different skills than last time this showed up for me. Maybe this time I can approach it in a way that is successful.